your music. We're gonna talk about your music journey. So, how did you start making music?
Well, I grew up in a very musical family, so everyone was always playing music when I was a child. I've got three older brothers who all played music too. So I think it was just natural for me to eventually follow in everyone's footsteps and pick up an instrument. And at this point, I picked up the violin because I wanted to make my dad happy. That was the only reason I wanted to play. And after a few years of playing, I decided that maybe it wasn't the right instrument for me. And then all my brothers went through playing the guitar at one point. So I just thought, hey, maybe it's my turn to see if I can do something with the guitar. And then I saw a guitar basically lying on a friend's couch back in Texas, and I just picked it up and I asked him to teach me a few things, and the rest is history.
Yeah. So, did you take any classes, like music classes, or you just learned by yourself?
Well, a lot of when I played violin, I was taught by my dad, who's also a violinist. But when I picked up the guitar, it was all just very visual for me. So I didn't really understand the musical theory of it until I'd say 3 or 4 years after I began playing. And even then, I'm self-taught. So everything I went through, all the resources that I went through was just on my own. And just because I'm such a visual person, I look at someone play something, I try my best to replicate that in my own eyes.
Okay, sounds good. So I know that you have a really quite interesting life story, and but do you want to talk about it a little bit? How did it affect your music journey? Because you were living in Germany, and then you moved to States, and then you ended up Canada, and now Canada is your home. But how did it influence your music journey, basically?
Yeah, I mean, having been through everything that I've been through all those countries that you mentioned, I think that just you have something to speak about, to write about, and I think there's a good saying, which is the harder your life, the better the art, and I do believe that. I've been through very unfortunate situations in my life as a child, and coming here with just moving all around too much, that eventually I needed something to kind of break out of that curse, and then just to break through and write music based off of those experiences. So in a way, I'm actually like manipulating bad experiences and into good ones now through the art of music. So that's kind of my approach with kind of taking those memories and just reapplying it to a different medium.
Okay, so it's quite interesting because I know a lot of musicians, they tell their personal stories through music, but at the same time, I don't see that much very personal, deep stories, but your music is really related to your life story, especially your second album. So how did you get this point? Because you want to feel comfortable to tell your story. Yeah. It's your life, but at the same time, it's kind of, private. So how can you find a balance?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm not sure I've ever really found that balance. I've been so open with my life because I think a lot of people can relate to hardship in general, not necessarily just moving around, but any sort of hardship. So I think that's maybe one of the reasons why the music can speak out to many people, is because of just enduring that hardship and just making sure that you can persevere from something bad and turn that bad into good. So I think that's just really the way I've approached it my whole life. It's just I'm not afraid to share these personal details about my life, because if the music is truly about a specific memory, I mean, I would only be holding back if I didn't tell the audience or prep them, so to speak, about what the song's about. It only makes the song even more powerful when the audience knows precisely what I wrote it about or when I wrote it.
And what do you think about when you're playing music, making music? So you want to make probably good music for sure, but at the same time, how do you feel about audience? Because this is a big dilemma for musicians, right? You want to make good music, but at the same time, do you think what people think about your music, your audience? Do you want to make them happy, but also you want to fulfill yourself first? So it's a little bit conflict. So I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, totally. It's always the hard part. You cannot always just play for yourself and expect everyone's going to like it. There's a few artists in this world who can do that comfortably, and for a long time I thought I could do that too, but that would just be too selfish, I think, to not only think about myself and not think about what the audience wants to hear. So I guess a good way to break free from that is to have them in mind and learn from the songs that you play. Sometimes I'll play a song to several audiences and I'll get certain reactions out of them from certain parts and not from others. So I try to analyze it and see if I can arrange the song differently to better suit both me and the audience, to kind of make everyone happy.
Yeah.
Because that is a compromise that you have to do to be, somewhat successful. Is listening to both yourself and the audience, because you can't just play for yourself. I mean, you can, but I want to involve the audience. See, I do think about the audience when I play, so I want to make sure that we're all in the same world. We're all
contributed, right?
Yeah,
so
it's just a flow of energy between the audience and me. So I just want to make sure that is flowing nicely, right?
Flowing, yeah. That's pretty interesting. So, what about your production process when you start writing, something? So I know, certain things, get you inspired, but at the same time, do you need, some time, like maybe, staying at home for, a few days and, working on something, or do you want to go out and, work on this in a different place? So what is your production process, creative process?
Yeah, the way I handle writing in general is that usually when wintertime comes around, which is now, I stay home a lot and I write a lot. I'm in writing mode. I've got enough pieces now for the next album, which is great. And it's also a concept album. I won't get too much into detail about it.
Maybe we can dig a little bit.
Yeah, not yet. I'm not 100% on everything yet.
Yeah.
But so I write a lot based on just stuff around me, whether it's an experience, whether it's people around me, whatever it may be. It's just life in general has so much to offer, so I just feed off of that. I've never gotten to the point where I'm like, I don't know what to write. Never had a writing slump, where I couldn't write anything. There's always stuff to write about, always different ways of looking at it. That's kind of my approach with writing, and it sometimes can take me up to a few years, because even some of the songs on this new album that's coming up next year, I've had these ideas in my mind for the past 6-7 years, and I'm just now looking back at them and saying, wow, these are actually strong melodies that I could incorporate into a song.
Yeah, and because your music is instrumental, so no lyrics, so how do you find it? Is it so challenging, or probably for you, because this is what you want to do, right? So but at the same time, how do you find it in the music industry? How is it so challenging, or is it something that now a little bit more trendy? How do you find it?
Yeah, it's definitely a very specific market. It's a very niche market that I'm in. So everyone who's into that market just likes instrumental music or instrumental guitar. So I'm just lucky to have that kind of audience there. If I was doing this 20 years ago, I wouldn't be in the same place where I am today. It's because of technology and social media that's really helped my career blossom a little bit more over the years. But as far as I'm not even worried about instrumental music. I don't mind. I don't even think about it as instrumental music. I think about it as just music. Yeah. If it makes you feel something, then you've accomplished your goal as a musician. It doesn't matter if there's words or not. For me, so I'm just very blessed to have a good audience that listens to the stories and can relate to them, and just appreciates them for what it is, and to hopefully take them to another world, or to make time still.
Definitely it takes. Yeah, I can guarantee. So what about the differences between two albums? Your first one and the second one. The second one that I know, it's based on your life story, and you're moving from Germany and then States and coming to Canada. So, but I don't know that much the first album, so I would love to hear a little bit. Yeah,
the movement of that specific album was based on my love life at that time. So I was engaged for a while, and then we broke up. So so that was really about that. It was really more about the love side, the love story, the romantic side of me in that first album. The second one was more about family. The third one will be
different.
Let's find out. Yeah. We'll find out next year. So I'm still thinking about the concept, but it will be another movement CD.
Yeah. And also, you're also doing the graphic design of the, like
Yeah.
albums. So you're not just, doing music. So you're
That's
doing
right.
everything.
Yeah. I mean, I'm heavily involved with the mixing process as well and the recording process. So it's very time consuming. That's why, based on this trend, I think every 3 years I release an album. So it's been 3 years. Desire Movement was in 2009. 2012 was the L'Hommage, and then 2015 will be this next one. So.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds really good. So, and you have some news, I guess. So you're going to States and a little tour in Canada. So do you want to mention, because your fans are probably want to hear about your next shows?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going on tour with a pretty well-known group called the International Guitar Nights. Now it's one guy, Brian Gore, who takes several artists from all over the world, several guitarists, and we put them all together in one night, and we kind of go all around the States and Canada, and we'll be starting in Vancouver, going all the way east to like the Montreal area, then down to the east coast of the U.S., flying to California, and then going up the coast, going up the west coast from there. So yeah, it'll be quite a journey. It'll be 6 weeks long. I'll be spending it with 3 other amazing guitar players, so it'll be a strictly guitar night.
Guitar night. That sounds pretty good. And I guess like you have a lot of fans in Montreal, right? So
yeah, I played there once, I think,
Yeah.
and it was a great show. So I think it'll be
good to
great.
visit Vancouver and Montreal. So that's good.
And I'm playing in Toronto as well, so that'll be a good hometown gig.
Hometown, right? Yeah, it's been a long time. I guess you played in Indie Week.
Yeah,
the last
exactly.
one?
Yeah, that was in October or something.
October, October.
But again, it's nice to not have any shows, right? Just to focus on writing. So working on new songs and prepping them. So.
And also, I know that you're giving guitar lessons, right? So also you're a guitar teacher. So how does it affect you? Because you're teaching people and you see their progress. Like, how does it make you feel?
Feels great. I mean, anything I can do to contribute to someone's life in a positive way is always good. I mean, writing music and having them be affected by it is one thing, but for me to actually guide them a little bit through, some of the techniques that I use that have helped me to express myself, I mean, that's priceless. That's just a wonderful thing. And the good thing is I can do this pretty much anywhere around the world through Skype,
That's
so
true.
Through just a Wi-Fi connection, I'm connected, and I do that all the time, even on tours.
So, who are the influences for you? Who would like to play with, and maybe you would say, oh man, like I wish I could play with him or with her. So, who are those musicians?
Yeah, I mean, I don't listen to too much music these days, but if there's one artist that I could play with or just share the stage with, it would be Pat Metheny, I think. He's a really great jazz player, but he does everything. He's really well-versed, and he's probably just a phenomenal guitar player and just a great musician, all-around musician. So he was definitely number one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I wish you luck for the next tour. I guess it would be great. So we will see you when you come back.
For sure, even in the Toronto show. So
yes,
I'll be
definitely.
there.
So we will probably announce it in Jury Music. So
Awesome.
everyone should follow us. We're announcing Maneli's shows and the other musicians as well. So and then they can actually follow your Facebook page. So what is it?
Great.
It's
facebook.com/Maneli Jamal Music.
And they can find you on YouTube,
Twitter,
Instagram.
Yeah.
You're everywhere.
Google.
Just okay.
Google it.
Okay.
You'll see everything there. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.